I've got the perfect method for Hobgoblin in Season 5. Let's talk about it. What's good YouTube, NoGoodEman here, coming to you today with the perfect method for Hobgoblin leaders. So guys, reset just hit, meaning it's time for the newest battle for the time to start, and it's Hobgoblin leader for Sun Jin-woo. So I've got under a minute. How can you get the same thing? We're going to talk stats, artifacts, and more, but before we get into that, make sure you guys leave a like on the video. As always, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all that other good stuff. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Hobgoblin leader. Now guys, I'll be honest, the amount of dark skills, and the reason I say this is because Hobgoblin leader is weak to dark. The amount of dark skills in the game is honestly crazy, and the amount of dark DPS based skills is honestly crazy. With that being said, I did not bring any break skills, or I have no break intention with this boss. This is one of the first bosses where this is the case. I'll be honest guys, we have the first battle for the time where you don't need to break the boss's gauge. There's not been a battle for the time like this in a long time. This reminds me of like season 0, season 1 type of timing, because after season 1 they started making the break gauge way more important. But now, honestly, with things like magnifying slash, with things like reap, Hobgoblin leader does not stand a chance. So let's go ahead and talk about the team you want to run. Personally, I went ahead and ran Lee Bora, Mean, and then Maylene Fisher. For the shadows, I ran Big Rock, Kaizel, the boy Kaizel dropped, make sure you guys get him, and then the boy Serby. Can't go wrong with this lineup. Again, the weapons, Plum, Moonshadow. I want to say you can probably bring Zeke's. I just didn't try it out. I think Plum Moonshadow, just honestly one of one weapon combo in the game, and he's weak to dark, so there's honestly no reason you shouldn't bring Plum Moonshadow. It's probably the best thing. If you just don't have it, that's understandable, of course. As far as the weapons for the supports, that doesn't matter really for battle for the time, but if you don't have their hunter exclusive weapon, I suggest just throwing on the R weakness weapon or the SR weakness weapon. So either one of those if you guys have it. Now let's talk artifacts for all of these people. For the boy Sun Jin-woo, we're doing 4-piece curse. We're pairing that with 4-piece viridescent. Now I really like the viridescent set because this is going to lessen the cooldown and increase damage for the boy Sun Jin-woo. So we're gonna get our skills back faster and faster and faster. I will say there's like a tad bit mana issue that you might run into, so a little bit of RNG you gotta watch out for. We'll talk about that when we talk about the run itself, but I'm pairing that with 4-piece curse. Again, one of the best left side stats you can go with. For the support characters, we're doing double holy and double peridot for just my 2 supports, and then for the third support, it's A-piece blessing. I'm just saying supports because honestly, it doesn't matter which character you guys run this on. I'd like just run this on any one of your supports. If you do run just 3 supports, if you run Lee, Bora, Mean, and Maylene, and if you don't have, or if you don't want to run Lee, Bora, Mean, and Maylene, let's say you need to break, right? If you don't have magnifying at a high advancement, you don't have high advancements of Plum, you can probably run like Dong Suk and then Lim Tae and then even Harper. So you can run even triple breaker. Personally, what I do think, if breaking is faster, breaking might be faster with this new skill, dispersion. This one does dark almighty break. I just haven't unlocked it, so I can't try it out, right? And if somebody has, let's say, legendary pulverize, you pair that with that skill, you pair that with, let's say, 1 dark breaker. Well, we're gonna see some fast times this battle for the time, I can't lie, with and without break. But the point is, we're showing you guys the day 1 methods that can get you under a minute. Now, like I said, these are the artifacts, right? Boom. Now let's go ahead and talk about the blessing stones. We're doing bloodlust, weakness detection, double-edged sword, and reawakening. You want those skills back as fast as possible, so that's why we're doing reawakening. Double-edged sword is going to get us the highest attack possible, 16% attack increase. You can't go wrong there. Weakness detection increases the damage for that elemental dark damage, so very good for battle for the time, must note that. And then bloodlust is also very good for battle for the time, decreasing the target's defense. Now, as far as the skills, we kind of already talked about it, but vertical arts reap, and then a magnifying slash from Sonic Stream. Now we're doing vertical arts reap mainly for phase 1. I will say Reap is a very, very nice AoE type of skill. So it allows us to do a decent amount of damage while getting rid of a majority of mobs. So I like it very much for phase 1. And then Sonic Stream Magnifying Slashes for, again, I think like phase 2 bosses kind of, and then the phase 3 boss, the Hobgoblin leader himself. And then again, I don't really think cores matter, so we're not going to talk about that. But guys, those are the hunters, those are the supports, those are the weapons, those are the artifacts. The last thing is the run, so let's get to it. The Hobgoblin leader. To start, we're gonna full bloom and use Maylene Fisher. Full bloom to get those stacks up, and Maylene Fisher to start getting that Baryon pumped up effect going. From there, we're gonna go ahead and activate Libora, which is going to use her charm move. This is gonna kind of group up a few of the mobs. We're actually gonna go behind these mobs she's grouping up. Now, here's the tricky part. For phase 1, this is just super RNG. I will say the best part, or the best times you can see in phase 1 will probably be in between like 8 and 12 seconds. I'll be honest though, I kind of gave up on trying to get that, at least for this video. I know I can get around that though. We end up getting actually 10 seconds, so I want to get around 8 seconds though. I will say this was pretty fast for my run. As you can see, I did finish up the last mobs with Magnifying Slash, but we used Reap to basically counterattack and get rid of a majority. We used Magnifying to get rid of the rest, and now I can even get rid of the last one. And then thankfully, Reawakening on Heroic plus the 4-piece Viridescent set, and Reap is literally like just ready, and I'm literally just activating it in the exact same interval, so it doesn't get like more locked in than that. And then we even use full bloom right before we see the Hobgoblin leader. So guys, we're super locked in. We're getting the plum stacks, we're getting everything. Now here's what I'll say. Go ahead, now we got to notice the mana, right? 4-piece Viridescent set, we're gonna be super drained on mana, so I can't even use like Moonshadow skill right now. So this is pretty risky. It's pretty volatile. I don't know if you guys want to run 4-piece Viri. 4-piece Viri might not be the move. I think 4-piece Obsidian might do something. I don't know. I might have to try out some other artifact sets, but we're gonna go ahead, dash, use Mean Summon the Shadows. I was going to use Moonshadow skill to try and get 2 stacks of Lunar Eclipse, and that's strats from the Guild Boss video. So if you watch that, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But I realized I couldn't get it, so I went ahead and just Shadow Stepped, and then I went ahead and had enough mana, used my Moonshadow skill, and then I used Maylene. We dashed, used Magnifying Slashes, and now we're doing basically a bunch of damage to him. So now from here, use Full Bloom, and now we just want to get another Shadow Step going and get another burst damage. So Magnifying Slashes is about to be ready, but he has no defense decrease on him, so I'm literally waiting from the next time I can get a Shadow Step, and it presents itself literally right there. So I use Reap to get a lot of damage on him. I think I got like a, how much, what is it? He was at 47, so Reap literally took away 10% of health, so that's a very, very nice reason to bring Reap as well. And now I have 3 stacks of Lunar, and then we finish him up with good old Magnifying Slashes, and then that shaves off 7 seconds from my previous testing of the run. I ran it a little bit differently than the first time I was. But guys, that is how I went about going about the Hobgoblin leader for season 3. What do you guys think of the run? Go ahead and leave your thoughts, theories, and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Peace.